Hi, I'm Ashley from Elementa Growth, here to answer some questions you had about breastfeeding. So I have written a blog about this, which I completely forgot about, so I will link that below, and it gives pretty much the details of my journey, the stuff that I learned. Today, though, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth of the stuff that still, I guess I've stopped breastfeeding now almost 6 months. And so that meant that we went until Finn was 2.5 years old, about 2.5, 3 years old. Anyway, so that's a long time. So what I'm going to share with you in this video specifically is the stuff that still it stays with my mind, I guess, and what I think will help you from my own experience. So the first thing is, my pregnancy was really natural. I ate very healthy foods, and even as I was breastfeeding, I continued to eat really healthy. I did not drink in any of my breastfeeding years or pregnancy, so yeah, I didn't have those kind of things holding me back, those kind of fears, those kind of concerns or anything like that. So if that's what you're looking for in this video, like pump and dump type stuff, please go somewhere else. I did not use a breast pump. I did have one given to me as a gift for my baby shower, and I used it yeah, just a couple times. I never enjoyed it. I did the breastfeeding on demand, and that's what you're gonna learn about here today. So my biggest takeaway is just start right away from pregnancy. Get in the mode that breastfeeding is something that you're supposed to be doing, something that you have to work towards. Yeah, it's so easy to get so involved in home birth, if that's what you want to do, or birth in a hospital, or your doctor's appointments, midwife's appointments, whatever. But you need to remember that yes, birth is something that you're working up towards, but that's over within 24-hour period. Breastfeeding is going to go on for about 3 years. So, I mean, it could be anywhere. 6 months is what they're saying you should at least aim for. But a lot of moms that I talked to that went down this journey, it's about 3 years old, and then it just happens naturally. They don't need it anymore. For me and a good friend of mine, it was just, as soon as our kids learned what empty meant, they just started saying, you know, it's empty. They knew when enough was enough. And eventually, they just naturally wean themselves, I guess, with that knowing, or that new intention and new information out there, as well as all the healthy, nutritious foods that they're getting and their bodies naturally developing. So, what is another thing? I guess I'll talk about after I gave birth to Finn, which was naturally at home. He was still attached to the cord almost until like the blood stops pulsing through the placenta, as gross as that means. The reason why we cut it was because he was already crawling up me looking for the boob. And when I started learning how to breastfeed, it did feel very uncomfortable, very foreign. It wasn't easy or comfortable by any means. But I stayed consistent, I stayed persistent, and I just said, I just pushed a kid out of myself. I carried him for 9 months. I can do this too, you know. And I took that power, and I made it happen. And I learned. Here's the thing, though. Like, it's really thick in the beginning. It's filled with specific nutrients that they need. It's called colostrum, and they need that specific high density, almost yellowish milk for the first little while. And it was when my milk started changing from the colostrum into actual milk, where you're like can shoot it out of everywhere, and then I actually got engorged. So first of all, when it's first coming out, I would walk around topless. I lived alone. I'm a single mother. and I was breastfeeding on demand, so it didn't matter. My boobs were just out. If I went for a walk with him to help him sleep, or just to get out to go get some groceries, I would put on a shirt, put on the ergo carrier, and I could still easily breastfeed him in there. But when it's a little bit messy too, right? So, like, you know, you're kind of mopping up after yourself. I know these are like gross things, but it's part of it, and you're gonna go through it too in your own way. So, just own it, I guess is what I'm saying. Do what feels most comfortable for you, because you're already going to be stressed. You're already going to be overwhelmed and probably quite tired, both recovery and trying to keep up with this new stuff, being a parent. So do what feels most comfortable for you, and don't worry about perfectionism, because nobody's perfect. So then what happened when my breast milk was coming in full force is I got engorged. What this means is that I had a bit of redness and tenderness. My boobs I was still producing milk and able to get it out of myself. But I guess some of the ducts were clogging up or too impacted. So what I did is I talked to my midwives. They said that if I don't figure out something to do, I may have to go on antibiotics. I was, of course, not up for doing that. So I went down to a health food store. I told them my situation. I told them that I was breastfeeding. I told them that I was scared that maybe an infection might be setting on, and please show me a probiotic that will help my body fight this off. So they did give me one. I have no idea what it was, but that is my advice to you, is go. I'm sure I documented that somewhere, like in one of my journals. Sorry, but it's really slipped my mind. And then I went to my grocery store and I got cabbage. I got red cabbage, but it really doesn't matter what kind it is. But the cool thing about it is that it actually fits on your boob perfectly. And you can fit it in your bra if you need to. It's great. It's soothing. Sorry. And it helps with the engorgement. And the thing, though, is that it can reduce your milk flow, so you only want to have it on. You can do it a few times in a day, but only in 20-minute sessions, and then take a couple hours off. That way you don't have that impact. Make sure that you're also drinking teas like nettle to replenish your vitamins. What's another one? Red raspberry leaf helps with your uterus to like reshape itself very quickly. It's also really good for hormone balance, so as is the nettle. Another good one is milk thistle for milk production. So those were ones that I was also taking at that time of engorgement and through most of my breastfeeding years. Actually, I still drink nettle now. I have it with peppermint now. You can't do that when you're breastfeeding, but it definitely makes it taste a lot better, and I still get all the benefits there. As I said, I will link the blog below, so if I am forgetting anything, you can find it in there. If there are additional questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below as well. I am a health coach, so it can be related to anything hormones, nutrition, or this specific, and I'll try to make a video about it as soon as possible. I love you guys.